Oh my goodness. I totally introduced you on mute. Good morning, everybody. It's Kara Nazari. I'm the Managing Director of AmCham Dubai, and we are excited to have with us this morning the Swiss Business Council and the Italian Business Council, in addition to one of our very own member companies. DiaPoint Middle East is going to present to us this morning on well-being during COVID-19. Pamela Durant is the Managing Director, and she established DiaPoint in the UAE in 2016 when she left her 20-year successful corporate career in healthcare management that included working as a consultant for clinics and hospitals, one of the big four and a top Fortune company. She's a certified wellness coach from Boston-based Well Coaches, a certified lifestyle medicine coach from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and a member of the Institute of Coaching, a Harvard Medical School affiliate. While her professional qualifications and experience go beyond this, her most important role is her job as the mother and caretaker of a child with type 1 diabetes. Her son was diagnosed when he was just 20 years old. The longer Pamela's son lived with diabetes, the more obvious the need to focus on health and wellness to manage diabetes and other conditions became. She created DiaPoint with the mission to support, share knowledge, and connect people in order to improve the quality of life of people with diabetes and those around them. Her more recent work focuses on supporting anyone who wishes to improve their general wellness, particularly how to manage their wellness during times of COVID-19. Pam, we anxiously look forward to hearing all that you have to share with us this morning. Please, the floor is yours.
To you during these very interesting times that we are witnessing. And I do hope that everyone's friends and family and colleagues are all safe and doing well throughout all of this. I know it's, extra challenging for us because, one, we're working our way through it, and we're also away from a lot of our family members throughout this. So thank you for being here. And I appreciate you coming to have this discussion about wellness, because I think it's really critical that we focus on our wellness during this time. So again, the introduction, thank you so much. I just want to highlight that the reason that I focus a lot on wellness is because what I found with my son, even though he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 20 months old, he's now 12, what I realized over time is that if he's healthy and well, he gets much better outcomes for his condition. And that is for everyone with diabetes. So what I found was embracing wellness along with traditional medicine can be a really amazing combination to move forward and manage a chronic condition. What I also found when I speak with various people, whether it's in the context of work or life or physical well-being, most often if there are challenges, everything tends to go back to our basic wellness and health. It's the foundation of almost everything we do. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about a few tips to manage stress while working from home, about eating healthy while we're all at home, and how to exercise effectively at home, and some other tips that might shift our mindset and help us develop resiliency over time. Now, that word resiliency, in the psychological context, what that really means is how we are managing our health and wellness through these times. It's not about just making, our way through this and getting by. It's about dealing with maybe anxiety, maybe with challenges and the stress of it all. And anytime we have a challenging situation, we're always going to probably face difficulty with that. That is not abnormal. But the way that we manage the difficulties with our wellness, then that will make us more resilient as we work our way through it. So we're going to talk about shifting our mindset to develop resiliency. And this primarily is done through connections, fostering wellness, which I'll spend the most time on because those are more of the easy wins and practical things that we can focus on. Finding a purpose. I believe that we already know our purpose for the most part. We're all here working, and we all are dedicated to something bigger than us and embracing healthy thoughts. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And also, by all means, seeking help when you need it. If you find that you're, struggling or challenging with a situation, there are many resources out there that can help. So within the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, the way that we define wellness is focusing in these 6 areas. And these 6 areas are scientifically proven time and time again that they have a positive impact on our health when we are taking care of them. So that includes eating well, physical activity, managing our stress levels, our relationships, sleep, and also avoiding risky substances, whether that be smoking, or if you're drinking alcohol, for example. So all of these together contribute to our primary wellness. And now if we look at all of these in the context of the COVID-19 situation, they become very important. So before I begin, if you look on your screen or on your phone, we have a polling question. So the question I have for you right now is, in general, since I've started working from home, so kind of since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the UAE and the region, how do you feel that you're managing your wellness so far? Is it very good, very well? Doing pretty good? Could be better? Or maybe you've not really had time to manage it at all? Okay. Everyone had a chance to answer that question. Okay, the poll has ended, and you should see the result in a minute. Sorry, can I just ask the moderator? There it is. Okay. So it seems like a lot of us could be doing better, or we haven't even had time to think about it. And I believe that all of those answers are absolutely the norm right now, because we've not barely had time to respond to this. Suddenly, we've gone from managing our everyday lives, and then we were in crisis mode. And already we may have been overworked and overstressed, and maybe we weren't really taking care of our wellness as much as we would have liked to maybe before this happened. Having this added stressor on top of it has really probably contributed to that. So what I'm going to do today is give you some very practical tips. I'm not going to be too theoretical. Some of these may seem obvious, but there's also a lot of easy ways and easy wins that you can go about doing this and maybe improving your wellness through all of this. So tips for managing stress while working from home. And this guy, he's looking pretty comfortable, right? So I think there's a lot to be said for how you want to work at home and what works best for you. And for this, there is absolutely no one size fits all. But some tips might be, of course, finding a designated space for your office and where you work. And you don't have to have a big fancy office or something like this. It might be a certain corner that you set up in your home. It might be maybe in your dining room table. But as long as you feel like it is your space where you can go and be productive. Establishing a routine. This is so important. Now, with work, fortunately, we have structure around that, and a lot of us have regular calls and meetings and things that we need to be having. But it's important to get up at the same time every day, kind of have breakfast at the same time every day, go throughout your day, take breaks at the same time every day, lunch, etc. We do this anyway, so we need to continue to do it while we're at home. Block tasks with breaks in between. I find that blocking my time makes me more productive, and I can be laser focused on activities. If you have family or children around, set times when you have your own focused time. A lot of us have children that are, doing distance learning, and that can be quite challenging. And while they need our support, we also still have to focus and be productive on our work. It's not a wellness thing, but making backup regularly for your laptop, for your files, because right now we don't have access to IT or, God forbid if we spill a drink on our laptop, we can't go anywhere right now and get it fixed. Limit the consumption of news and social media, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Exercising, eating well, sleeping well, drinking water. Hydration is so very important. Limit your caffeine intake. I find when I work from home, I tend to want to go to the coffee machine even more than if I'm in my office. Limit screen time. It feels like we're on our screens all day now because we are working from home on the screen. But limiting that screen time and that blue light, it has so many benefits, and it'll help you sleep better at night. And make the weekend different. Don't maybe, get up and start working right away on a Friday if you still have something you haven't finished from Thursday. And do not expect any of this to be perfect. There is no picture perfect working from home image of what you should do and not do. It's about what works right for you. And you might find that some days are easier than the next. It's not going to always necessarily look the same every single day. So, healthy eating at home. I want to talk a little bit more in detail about this because I think this is very important and one of the things that we can really take control over while we're at home. I put this picture up because what you see here are people in an office. And if you think back to how you would typically probably eat your lunch in the office, you probably ate at your desk while you were working in most cases, or sometimes you might have business dinners, you'd be out entertaining people. But if you were eating in your office, oftentimes it was not very mindful. Or like if you see every single person here, they're eating while they're having a meeting, and that's okay, and that's a great way to save time. But now we actually have the space and time that we can be more mindful about it. So instead of seeing it as, oh no, what are we going to do? It's an opportunity. So another polling question. So far, again, since we've been working from home, how do you feel that you've been eating fairly healthy or maybe not so healthy? Okay. And let's see, we're just now calculating the results. Yes, okay, well done. 72% feel like they're eating fairly healthy. And that's really great because I do think that that's something that we can really have control over, and good habits of food are so important. The kitchen is key. I think the kitchen is one of the most important rooms in our house when it comes to our health and wellness, and particularly working from home. What do we do first thing when we step away from our laptop? We just finished a meeting. Where do we usually go? We go to the kitchen. I'm pointing that way because my kitchen's that way. So we go to our kitchen, maybe to get a cup of coffee, or sometimes we'll look and see what there is to eat, needing to make sure if we're hungry. This is a perfect opportunity, if we've not been eating healthy, to eat healthier. And how can we go about doing that when, we can't really go outside so often? Well, one thing that we can do is stock a healthy kitchen. Now, this is a lot for one slide, but I just wanted to put this up there. Some people are very visual, and I think presenting from home on a laptop is very different than if I were to be talking about this to you in a room together. Make sure you have a variety of fruits and vegetables that are very color. It is true what they say, and they say this to children: eat the rainbow. The more colorful you eat, the more vitamins and nutrients that you get. Grains. Change your grains for brown things like barley and bulgur and oats. And there's so many amazing grains that you can use, not necessarily things that are white, because it is scientifically proven that these whole grains are better for you. Protein, make sure that you're getting healthy protein. It could be, we're fortunate here in the UAE, we still have access to fresh fish. Chicken and turkey are okay too. Or if you're a vegetarian, maybe tofu and eggs and beans and nuts. And then healthy fats and oils. This is something that we've probably all heard many times, but I cannot reemphasize the importance of that enough. And then other essentials that you would have in your kitchen to cook with. That might be Sometimes we say the high quality goods or fancier things like certain nuts or balsamic vinegars, olive oil. For many of us, those are staples in our diet anyway. But try to not keep the bad stuff at home. When you shop for good food. Then you won't be tempted when you open your cabinet and if you see a bag of Doritos there. I know I'm tempted if I keep bad food at home. So I just tend to not really buy it too often. In addition to stocking your kitchen well, you want to get creative, right? So you think, I'm home, I don't really, cook a lot, what should I do? So when I was putting this presentation together, I went to Google and I simply typed in the word recipes, and there are more than 3 billion results. As complex as you want, as simple as you want. We have access to so much information about cooking food. And fill your plate. When you make your plate, make it attractive and fill it with vegetables. Make it special. Don't just, put it together and go back and sit at your laptop and eat if you can. Sometimes it's not avoidable. You may have back-to-back calls and meetings, and that's okay. But more times than not, you want to try to make the space for it. Eat healthy foods that you like. Just because you read that, I don't know, spinach was the latest superfood and you absolutely hate spinach, it does not mean that you have to eat it. You should eat healthy foods that you like, not healthy foods that the latest food craze kind of suggested to you. As I mentioned, be mindful when you eat. Set a special place to eat. Don't scroll through your phone while you're eating. Don't look at your laptop while you're eating. If you have, space where you can sit outside, the weather's still not too bad right now. You have a balcony or a garden, take your lunch outside and go, look around. And it's amazing how many birds that I've seen since I've been working at home. And everything in moderation. We don't eat healthy all the time. From time to time, yes, we may want something that's considered not so healthy, and that's okay. We just don't want to make that a habit. And my advice in all situations to everyone always is don't diet. Just make healthy eating a way of life. Dieting, there's a lot to be said for different fad diets. We could talk a whole hour about all the different diets that there are. But in general, if you are eating healthy and a lot of plants, plant-based, then that will set you up for success in terms of your diet. A lot of people say, but I don't have time to cook. And I agree, many of us don't. I don't feel like I have a lot of time. So some very quick, easy wins for healthy eating might be making protein smoothies or salads, a vegetable salad, a fruit salad. There's a lot of healthy pastas out there. If you're watching your carbohydrate intake, there's some more protein-based pastas that you can get, and they taste really good. Eggs and fish. Fish cooks so fast. It seems like such a luxurious thing for us to have at home, but you can put it in a pan, put it in the oven, it'll cook in a matter of minutes. You can also make some healthy dishes that last over a couple of days. You can get fresh, ready-made foods from your local supermarket. If you're going out to do some shopping, they have salads and different healthy things that you can pick up, and those can sometimes last you a day or two. And restaurants are still able to deliver. So of course, it's better to find those that have healthier options than, say, ordering a burger and fries. The other tip, and again, this might seem obvious for all of us now that gyms are closed and we're not supposed to be outside running and doing things like this, is exercising at home. I think this one might sometimes even be more challenging than eating because it feels less motivating. For a lot of us, exercise is a very social thing. So I put together a few tips to make some suggestions to make exercise at home a little bit more easy. And before I begin, one question. How many of us have been exercising regularly since this has started, and how many of us feel like we could be doing better to exercise more? Sip my coffee. Just waiting for those results to come back. Okay. Say 42% of us are, exercising, and that's really good. And it's not easy to do because exercising at home, if we, didn't have the space for a dedicated gym in the first place, and suddenly you need to find the space, it doesn't quite have the feel and the motivation that we would want it to. But there are ways to help encourage us to do it. And the first one is setting goals. And I'm going to give you some strategies later for how to set goals around wellness in general. But give yourself a goal about when you're going to exercise, what kind of exercise you're going to do. Make it a routine and schedule it. You schedule your calendars full of meetings, but probably not really scheduling time for yourself. That's one reason why people often don't exercise. You think, okay, I'll do it today at the end of the day. And then what you find out is that work and life and everything takes over, and then you have no time. So make sure you really schedule that time. Do activities that you enjoy. We have access to so many different activities now online that you can pick from many, many activities. You don't have to do the same activity that your friend is doing, or that you've seen that might have come up in an ad on your social media or something. Find activities that you enjoy. You can find almost any activity online to do at home, except maybe swimming. That comes to mind. So create a special place in your home for it. Actually, I am presenting to you now from the corner of my home where I exercise, and I have my home gym. I'm standing up. My laptop is on top of my stationary bike, but I have a designated corner where I exercise, and this is where my family comes to exercise. So the other day I said, hey, I'm going to the gym. And they thought, what? You can't go out to the gym, but this is the gym. So in my mind, I know that when I'm coming here, I have an exercise mindset. I put my phone away if I'm not using it with an app or something that's helping me to exercise, and I don't touch anything else other than something related to exercise when I'm in this corner, with the exception of right now. And it doesn't have to be fancy or expensive. Exercise can be anything really cheap. For example, sorry, I apologize, my phone was ringing. So it does not have to be fancy or expensive. You don't need to have a full set of weights to get a good workout at home. You can just use your own body weight and still get a great workout. And you can exercise with your family. You can make it social, do it online with friends, or you can make it sacred. Maybe that is your time that you can have for yourself, and maybe not have anyone around you if you're living in a house with family. So you can do it however you want. There is no right or wrong way to do it, but just make sure that you're goal oriented and you put a place for it and you make it special for you. So I wanted to share with you some exercise apps, because I feel in this day and age, with the access to technology and everything that we have, this is one of the easiest ways that we have to get fit at home. YouTube, I can't say enough about it because it's free. And like I said, you can find many, many activities on YouTube. If you went to YouTube and you did a search for an activity that you enjoy, you would have many videos that come up. And the great thing is, if you find a trainer or someone on YouTube that you enjoyed, you could subscribe to their channel and continue to follow them. Some other apps, there's one called NeoU, and NeoU has thousands of workouts for all levels. But the reason why I put this one in here, because they've just added, since the whole COVID-19 thing has started, they have added workouts that you can do with your children. And they have different categories depending on the age of your child. So if you have children at home and you want to get them active and they're not too motivated, this might be a good way to start. Peloton, I think many people here might be familiar with Peloton. They're a publicly traded company now. I think I read recently worth $1 billion. I actually have used this app for a while. They have a free 90-day trial, and they're known for selling, their stationary bikes and treadmills. But you don't have to own one of their pieces of equipment to do a Peloton workout. And there is a video with an instructor, and the workouts, I can tell you, are very solid. They can be very challenging if you put the effort in. Similarly, there's one called Aptive. I also use that one. This one is audio-based. There's no video. But again, the workouts are very good. Despite not having the video, they're very detailed. And you can find both in Peloton and Aptive, there's yoga, there's biking. If you have a treadmill at home, you can run. There's exercises with body weights. If you have some light weights, there's exercises with weights. So they have a big variety in both of those apps. And that's why I like them, because I can go say, hey, this is what I feel like doing today. So this is what I'm going to focus on. Freeletics, this depends on your workout goals. And it's a very sleek app. And they use also artificial intelligence for coaching. So if you want to get laser focused on something, that might be the way to go. 7-minute workouts, exactly what the name describes it well. You can upgrade and buy, but the workouts are nice little 7-minute workouts. If you own a TRX, there's a whole system around working out with a TRX, their app, and also there's free videos on YouTube of people that have great TRX workouts. And also, if you're into yoga and meditation, which is also very important, I put this under exercise, but it also gets into our mindfulness and how we feel. Asana Rebel is very good. Daily yoga is great. If you're a beginner to yoga and you've always wanted to try, but you're not sure where to start, Yoga for Beginners, and it's free. And Yoga Down Dog is very good. And then also Calm. Calm has been highlighted as one of the best apps for mindfulness and positive psychology. They have guided meditations, breathing exercises, and this can be very calming and relaxing. But there's thousands that you can choose from. The most important thing is you find one that resonates with you, that you enjoy doing. Consume less news. So I can't say enough about this. And I know, like I mentioned when I started, that we're away from family and we're wondering how they're doing and what's happening next, and because this is uncharted territory for all of us. So we are all looking at the news. And I found this particularly in the earlier weeks, I was checking the news a lot. Now I've cut back. My advice is, get up, check in the morning, and then go on about your day and start working. And maybe if you feel the need, check in again at night. But try not to check too often, because one, it keeps your brain and your emotions in a very heightened state. And that's very normal during this time. But the reality is that the news is not updated every hour so often. Things are not moving that fast, even though there is 24-hour coverage of COVID-19, and rightfully so. But if we can consume it at a moderate level, then our overall wellness will be much better. There are apps for that, ironically. As I say, don't pick up your phone. So these are just a few of them. Off time, it'll block apps. Moment, I actually use it. It tracks your device usage and it will split it up by apps. And it's amazing. Once you start using one of these and you see how much you consume, you will be surprised. I think for all of us, it's probably more than we think it is. Or even if we admit that we're doing it a lot, it's quite a lot. Space will measure the time on your phone and it gives you an addiction score. Ironically, people get very motivated to try to decrease their score, so they made it a little bit of a gamification. Flipped will help you set goals on phone usage, and it will lock your phone. So be careful with this one, because I've not used it, but what it does is it'll lock your phone, and even if you restart your phone, it'll still be locked. Probably you could accept calls from people, but you won't be able to open certain apps. App detox will allow you to set specific time limits for each app and stay on task. Is a very much kinder, gentler approach. It will just check, send you reminders like, hey, how you doing? For some people, that might be more effective than having a block on an app. Schedule calls with family and friends. This is where I talked about the connection, and I think a lot of us are already doing this. We've been doing it a while, but now more than ever, it's really important to reach out to the people you love, set regular calls with them, and just check in. Hey, how are you doing? I've already done that with a few of my friend groups, and it's actually been really nice to have that connection, and it's something that I look forward to. I didn't realize how important it was until I started to do it, and it actually was uplifting and made me feel better just to see some familiar faces and for everyone to verbally share their experiences of what they're going through with this. Gratitude. Having a practice of gratitude is so very important, and I know it's something that has probably gotten a lot of press recently, but gratitude, having a practice of gratitude, no matter what that is scientifically proven to increase our overall happiness. Martin Seligman, who is considered one of the founders of positive psychology, He has a great talk, a TED talk actually, about happiness. And he talks about how the three things that will lead to happiness. And the first is kind of your environment, you know, the general things that you have access to. The second one is gratitude. And the third one is being a part of something bigger than yourself. And as I mentioned, I think we are all part of something bigger than ourselves. We're all here working and contributing very productively. But when it comes to gratitude, what he found when he teaches this happiness course, it's over 2 days. And at the end of the first day, he would have people write a letter of gratitude to someone. And he said that is where things really tend to start shifting. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go out and write a letter of gratitude to somebody, but just taking time in your everyday, even though despite the fact that we are instructed to stay in our homes, that we do need to get permission to go out, but just taking a moment to reflect on the fact that we do have a roof over our head, or maybe there's a bird making a nest in a tree outside. And if it's something, you know, very small that day, then that's okay. It doesn't have to always be something really big, but try to find gratitude in the everyday small things. Get good sleep. This is another one that I think we know, but it often goes unnoticed because more and more science is telling us that sleep is so critical for our wellness. And here are just a few areas that I want to highlight about sleeping. Now, it's very hard to, you know, tick every one of these every single day, I will admit, but you need, as an adult, 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day in total. We should not be working in our bed. We should try to follow a regular sleep schedule. We should not really be using our laptops and phones before bed. I mentioned that earlier about the blue light. Get exposure to sunlight if you can, even if that's just opening a window and sticking your head out. And eliminate too much caffeine or drinking at night. That does not give you good sleep. Your body has to metabolize all of that and digest. Also, eating late and the food choices that you make as well can really affect your sleep. Staying hydrated is also important for good sleep. And I put meditation in there because it is scientifically proven that meditation does help us sleep better and it helps our overall health. So make sure that you and your family and everyone is getting good sleep. It's very hard, even especially with children when you're working from home and, you know, they maybe don't have as much structure in their day as they used to. So to get them to bed at a certain time, because we're not having to get up as early as we used to for school probably, but try to keep a schedule and a routine for your sleep. So now I want to just leave you with a few more ideas and ways that you can apply some of these things or other things to really, I don't want to say improve wellness, because I think wellness is such a personal thing. And I don't think, given the circumstances, that we're all doing a bad job at it. That's not what I want to imply. But if you have something that you'd like to work on or improve, or if you've heard something here that you think if you focused on a little bit more that might contribute to your overall wellness while we're all working through the times of COVID-19, then I encourage you to set goals around it. Now, if I'm working with a client, everything is often goal-based. And we set SMART goals. And what do I mean by a SMART goal? I mean it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it must be timely. Now, we all do this for work on a regular basis. We have strategic plans, we have plan to make plan, we have tasks to roll out initiatives, but ironically, we never do that for the most important things in our life, which is ourselves. Work is very important, but we can take the same principles that we use at work and project management and actually apply them to ourselves, and it will improve our wellness. So what exactly is a SMART goal? It'll be, I will exercise more. Okay, that's like, I want to exercise more, but you got to get really specific with it. For example, if you have a treadmill at home, a SMART goal about exercising more might be, I will walk on the treadmill 30 minutes every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then you can tick it off. Now, sometimes it might seem overwhelming to have to tick off another goal when you're already having to check so many boxes for work. I don't necessarily say that you should always make everything so task-oriented. But if you do set it up as a SMART goal, you will more likely achieve it. And another thing I want to say about goals, they have to be goals that are important to you. As I mentioned before, this whole wellness during COVID-19 is going to look very different for every single person. Make sure that you select something that is important to you, whether that be exercising more, getting better sleep, or the example I made here, eating more vegetables, and turn that into a SMART goal. If you're doing it just because you know that you need to maybe eat more vegetables, then that may or may not motivate you so much. Focus on more feeling-based approach. I use this also a lot in coaching, but focus on how it is that you want to feel. You want to have more energy, maybe you want to feel more energetic. So in order to feel more energetic, then the goal is exercising more on the treadmill 30 minutes on those days. Make sure it's an important goal to you. Not make sure that it's something that you want to do, make sure it's something that inspires you. Not because I put it and said, oh, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine recommends this. Of course, those things are scientifically proven, and it would be great if we all did it, but you have to feel it from here. Otherwise, you won't be very motivated to do it, especially when you're just at home all the time. And also, a lot of us were managing employees and teams and leading people. So I just want to leave you with a few ideas about your employees' wellness. Make sure you're checking in with them regularly, not just about work, but about their overall wellness. Send them a message or set up a call and say, hey, how are you doing? How is everything going? Enable flexible working times if possible. Create team initiatives around wellness. For example, I think these are just great ideas and people would really get into them. For example, exercise competitions. You can do that online, have people track how much they're exercising during the week, and then you'll have a winner. You're not going to necessarily award a physical prize to them, but I think people will take great pride in winning a competition like this. You can share healthy tips with each other, ask people, how they're doing it, and that can really create a discussion around wellness. Organize, 5 o'clock tea or coffee or after work calls with the team, and these calls should be where you're not talking about work, but talk about other things and share recipes, healthy recipes ideas. I find people love to talk about food. So there is an infinite amount of things you can talk about when you get people to start talking about food. And just continue to lead them as you already are during these uncertain times. So as I mentioned, what we're trying to do during the times of working through COVID-19 is shifting our mindset to develop resiliency. None of us know exactly where this is going to land, what the economy is going to look like after. We don't know. We're really going through unknown territory. But the thing that we can do right now that we do have control over as we work our way through it and support our organizations is for ourselves, we can continue to build connections. We can focus on our wellness and those that are close to us. We can embrace healthy thoughts. And by all means, if you feel like you need more than just focusing on your wellness, then seek help when you need it. And if you're not sure where to find that, you'll see my email at the end of the call. Feel free to reach out. And I know many telemedicine, there's apps to support you, and also already the clinics and hospitals and things here, they're already setting up the ability to do telemedicine. So if you really need support, there are ways out there that you can find it. So thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope it was valuable to you and that you found some useful information or were reminded of some other things that you can do to take care of your wellness at home. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Or I think if you have any questions right now, I think we still have a few minutes left. So feel free.
Wow, thank you, Pam, for sharing those insights. I can tell you that Team AmCham is going to get a challenge about exercising because we just need that. I think it's good for all of us to have that little, and everybody likes a challenge, right? So we're going to be engaged. Yes. Thank you for sharing all your insights with us this morning. I haven't seen any questions come in, but I bet you that people might have some afterwards. And I do want to say, your email was shared on the slide that was just there, and people know how to reach us, and we can certainly connect you together with anyone who has questions that come to mind afterwards. But your insights were, in fact, very useful, very insightful, and very practical, so easy to implement in many regards, which is always something we look for. You know, as you said at the very beginning, you weren't going to talk a lot about theory, but much more practical, and I appreciate that. I'm sure that most of our attendees do. We had a good number of folks on the call, and I'm sure there might be, is there a question that's come down there? You're getting some thank yous from folks out in the audience, Pam. I don't know if you can see them, but we'll be happy to share them. So,
okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate that. And also, I just want to add, if any of you feel like this presentation would be useful for your organization, I am happy to talk about wellness or, you know, highlight things that, you know, your employees can do, or feel free to, you know, implement some of those. Like I said, like you said, Cara, the exercise challenge is a great one to start with.
It is. All right, perfect. Thank you, Pam. Thank you to the Swiss Business Council for being here this morning. Thank you to the Italian Business Council. And we look forward to our next webinar. I don't think we have another one this week. So next week, we're going to talk cybersecurity, which always freaks me out a little bit. So there you go. We'll be looking for ways to de-stress after that.
Thank you again, everyone. Stay safe.
Speak soon. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.